Do you ever get an invitation, and your first instinct is a polite thanks, but no thanks? You choose a quiet night with a book over a loud party. And then later, you start wondering, is something wrong with me? Like you're somehow antisocial. But what if that's not the truth? What if this thing you've been judging yourself for is actually the reason you're capable of building deeper, more meaningful relationships than most people? Stay with me, because once you see this, you'll never look at your social life the same way again. Let's clear something up first, because this is where most of the guilt comes from. Being selectively social is not the same as being antisocial. Not even close. Antisocial behavior, in a clinical sense, means lacking empathy, disregarding others, causing harm. That's not what you're doing. What you're doing is choosing. Choosing where your time goes. Choosing who gets your energy. Choosing what actually matters. And once you understand that difference, a lot of that guilt, it starts to disappear. But here's the interesting part. This selectiveness you feel, it's not random. It's actually doing something very important for you. Think of your social energy like a battery. For some people, it drains slowly. But for you, small talk, crowded rooms, surface-level conversations, they drain it fast. And here's what most people get wrong. It's not because you don't like people. It's because you don't like shallow interactions. You're wired for depth. You'd rather have one real conversation than 100 meaningless ones. And interestingly, deeper conversations are actually linked to higher levels of happiness and well-being. So when you avoid draining interactions, you're saving your energy for the moments that actually matter. But that leads to something even more powerful. There's a concept in psychology called Socioemotional selectivity theory. And it says something simple. When people realize their time is limited, they stop chasing quantity and start prioritizing meaning. Now here's the interesting part. Most people only reach this stage later in life. But if you're selective, you're already doing this right now. Instead of collecting dozens of surface-level connections, you're building a small circle. People who actually understand you. People who align with you. People who matter. And that's how you end up with relationships that actually feel real. But none of this works without one final piece. Being selective teaches you something most people struggle with. Saying no. And not feeling guilty about it. Because you understand something. Every no to something draining is a yes to your peace. You're not rejecting people. You're choosing yourself. And because of that, when you do show up, you're present. You're engaged. You're real. Not exhausted. Not forced. Not pretending. That's what makes your connections stronger. Of course, there is another side to this. Sometimes people misunderstand you. They might think you're distant or uninterested. And sometimes it can feel a little lonely. But here's the shift. Alone doesn't have to mean isolated. That quiet time you protect, it's not empty. It's where you recharge, reflect, reconnect with yourself. And that's what allows you to show up fully, when it actually counts. So no, you're not antisocial. You're selective. And that's not a flaw. It's a filter. Real connection over constant interaction. You don't need more people. You just need the right ones. Now I'm curious. What's one thing you do that instantly recharges your social battery? Drop it in the comments. Let's build a space where being selective is actually understood. If you liked this content and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe.